and welcome to the Talkin Bits podcast. I'm Michael Rose, and with me, as unfortunately always, is Nathaniel Booher, Banana Head.
Yeah, here I am. It's so funny how we're so civil right before we hit record. And then as soon as we hit record, we're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, we were like warming up for 10 minutes, having like genuine conversations,
just a casual
talking shit about everyone we know. It just Now we're just
this is why everyone tells me that I'm mean to you, because they only hear after we hit record, and I'm like, we talked for 20 minutes.
They don't hear all the other times we've hung out without recording. I offered to give him like a free microphone when he got here. Like,
it's great. We're doing good, but it's more fun to hate each other anyway. So fuck your ugly face. We're back.
Thank you. Did you take your shoes off in my house?
I sure did. Do you smell them?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Well, a spoiler alert.
We're here. We're in my basement.
We're here. We're queer. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on a sticker.
That's right. That's my pronoun pin.
Put it on a sticker with like a reverse rainbow. Just
an upside down rainbow.
Yeah. Dude, I was watching we're watching the Friday the 13th right now because that's where I am in my life. And we had a Friday the 13th last Friday.
Yeah. We did.
We did, and I love it. Every Friday the 13th, I always watch one, and then I talked my wife into like, hey, we should just go ahead and watch them all.
Did you let the baby watch it?
No. No. Too much nudity.
Right.
That's
what's holding it back.
Yeah, too much nudity.
The sleeping bag scene.
Dude, I think I'm at that movie. Do you know which movie? I think I'm watching that movie right now. I can't remember which one that's in, if it's in 5 or 6. I'm on 5 right now. That's my favorite one.
I have a memory burned into my head as a child. I think I've told this before about the movies I used to watch with my uncle when he would babysit.
Maybe.
That was on meth. Did I tell you that? Okay, so my uncle was on like pills. Maybe not meth. He was on pills when I was a kid. Okay, for our regular listeners, this is the same uncle that we talk a lot about during the white trash segment. Yes.
Yeah.
The Fence, the barking dog, Rusty. Go listen to the episode. Rusty, Moon Pie, and
Moon Pie and Rusty, or Rusty Moon Pie. I don't remember what I named it.
Great episode. Yeah, hilarious. This same cat, and I love him to death. He's the best. He's just out there, man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he's having a good time.
He was on some stuff, and for a while he moved in with like this girl when I was a kid, and they lived in Rice Terrace Apartments. Which, if you don't know, you're not from Bristol. Anyone listening knows Rice Terrace. Imagine like. We live in a small town, predominantly white. It is like the Compton of Bristol. It's like for Bristol, it is shitty. It's sketchy. There's shit that goes down there all the time. Like Scanner Food is always just Rice Terrace. Yeah. It's bad. And it's been that way for 40 years.
Go ahead. I have a question, but go ahead.
Actually, my grandpa grew up there in the 60s, and it was trashy then. Like, it's always been trashy.
Yeah, it's just Hooverville.
It's a Hooverville.
Kept being
right.
a Hooverville.
And it's, well, these
days... That's another reference to another fucking episode we did. Anyway.
Yeah, it's predominantly... black now. It wasn't always. Anyways, it's trashy. So he was there for a while, and for whatever reason, Mom would let him babysit me sometimes. I guess we had no other options. And so when I was real little, we would watch Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
I love them.
Freddy versus Jason.
I love it.
And then he would put on Bob the Builder, the musical, to kind of put a bow on.
And
then Mom would pick me
reset
up.
the palette.
Yeah, Mom would pick me up and be like, "What'd you do today?" And I'd be like, "We watched Bob the Builder the musical." Like, that's all I could
What
retain.
is Bob the Builder the musical? I've never even...
Oh, you got to check. It's a fantastic piece of cinema.
I've never even heard of that.
It's like, it's people in giant Bob the Builder costumes.
God, that
on
sounds
stage.
awful.
Oh, I'm sure it doesn't hold up.
Our daughter, shout out baby OJ. Shout out to my brother who, fuck off, Robert, for this one. But he...
Jesus.
No, he got
name dropping this guy. No. Go ahead.
No, it's funny. He got Olivia this Elsa toy from Frozen for you uncultured. Yeah. And it's a very good toy to get a toddler. It is a great toy to get her. However, for what it is, it's like this little plastic Elsa that has wheels on the bottom, and it just rides around, sings, has lights, all this stuff, and it sings "Let It Go." The problem is it only sings one fucking verse,
and it loops it
of "Let It Go."
Yeah,
and it loops it, and Olivia fucking loves it.
Yeah,
dude.
So it's just all day.
Yeah, and it's a really cool toy.
That's literally. I'm not being dramatic. That's the main reason I don't want kids, is because of irritating shit like
dude. That. And then, have you seen the crab toys that kids get? I think you've seen hers.
I've seen her crab. Yeah.
You've seen her crab. Oh my gosh.
I don't know that I like
Way to make it weird, you fucking...
I don't like that. I've seen the crab toy that you're referencing.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
There's this little crab toy. If you have kids, you know about it. But it's like, it just is a crab, but it just has music, and the music doesn't shut the fuck up, and you can't change the volume on it.
Right.
And I just...
But the Elsa one bothers you.
The Elsa one gets me.
Maybe you should just let it go.
They both get me. Let it go. Let it go.
Maybe you should just let it go.
Dude, she's upstairs watching Frozen right now, ironically enough.
That's great.
And she apparently...
It is a good movie.
She did not react at all to the song that she hears on loop every...
Olaf's very funny.
Damn day.
The little snowman guy.
I like the actor who plays him. He has a very funny role in New Girl.
Yoo-hoo.
He has a very
Big Summer Blowout.
He has a very funny role in New Girl. I was going to ask about scanner food. You brought it up.
Yeah.
Is that like a local thing, or is there scanner foods everywhere?
I think there's probably, it's like Don't Tell. There's one for everywhere, kind of, but it's, I mean, our local one is just a shit show. Like, I literally had to stop following it because it's just nonsense.
I watched somebody die in a motorcycle accident, and I saw it on scanner food like 30 minutes later.
That's pretty cool.
That was a really weird day at work.
We've told that story on the pod, right? My story about seeing somebody die.
I don't know. I've seen two people die.
Once
on a motorcycle. I've seen okay. Go ahead.
It was bad.
Let's
get
bad. Dark. Okay, I brought up my motorcycle story first, so we'll just take turns. We both have two. I'll go first.
We've talked about this before.
No, I'll do my motorcycle story. So I was working at the cell phone store. This was the same store that I got threatened to be killed in, that somebody tried to burn down.
Machete.
Somebody tried to fucking... No, this is not the Machete store. It's a different store. And then somebody hit their car into this store at one point. I think I have a joke. Or
have you thought that maybe they were just out for you? And
maybe.
Like maybe you had a price on your head or something?
I get it, man. Yeah. It wasn't high enough because they never...
You're just bad luck.
Yeah. So anyway, this store, it's at the end of a parking lot, but there's like, you know, those parking lots that have like an actual road that is like in it? Mm-hmm. You know, does that make sense? Like,
right.
So it has like an actual road in the parking lot.
Right.
It's not like just roads. And this guy on a motorcycle was doing a wheelie and just like fucking flying.
Pretty
and
cool.
Somebody came in on the main road, didn't see him, and this guy just hit him and fucking flipped over it.
And you know for sure he actually died?
I assume he died. I'm pretty sure that's what Scanner Food reported.
I know for sure this one.
Yeah.
I know for sure.
Oh, I have another story.
I know for sure.
I'll tell you the story for sure that I know someone died. Go ahead. Go with your dark story. Let's go.
This is the fucked
7 minutes into the podcast where we're talking about Friday
up.
the 13th and death. Let's go.
Anyways, one time my grandpa grew up in this coal town in West Virginia, and after he died, I used to take trips up there sometimes, just to trace roots and find some, like recreate some old pictures and stuff. It was fun, and I like going up there. But it's out near, like you go through a certain part of Virginia that listeners may know. Like you go out through Lebanon, Tazewell, eventually through Richlands, where Travis is from, Van Sant, like the shit creek nowhere. And there's like one highway that goes out through there. And so I was on this highway one time going up there, and I turned a corner, and as I kind of came around this like curve or this bank, there was like a truck stopped and a bike stopped. So it had just, like I was the first person there, you know.
Like already in an accident?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the truck was stopped with flashers on. So I stop, and I'm like kind of slowly going around, and as I am slowly going around, I realize I'm kind of like piecing together what's happened. I don't know exactly. What I would assume is either the truck swerved over, bumped the bike, and it crashed. Maybe the bike came up flying and ran into the side of the truck and crashed. Somehow the bike crashed, and there was a dent on the truck where it had made contact. But what I saw as I pulled up is there was a guy who was clearly driving the motorcycle, had a helmet on, and was scraped up. I mean, like road rash, like head to toe.
Like on the ground?
No. He's standing up.
Okay.
And he has a hoodie that he's holding, like that he's taken off, I guess, because it's like covered in blood. And he is draping the hoodie over what is left of his partner, I guess, his wife, girlfriend, something. But the craziest shit is, like, I'm driving by, you know, at a very, like, a mile or two per hour, like, just scooting by. And so I rolled down my window, and I looked at him, and I was like, is there anything I can do for you? And he looked at me with I'll never forget this crazy fucking look in his eyes. And he just goes, no. And I was like, okay. And I just started going by, and I'm not even kidding. As I'm going, like, 1 mile an hour, maybe, I passed this lady for a while. Like, like, if her head was here, her feet were 20 feet, 30 feet down the road. Like, she just scraped, literally like a bug on a windshield on the asphalt. It was among the gnarlier fucking things I've ever seen. Like, it looked like something out of The Walking Dead. It's like drug across. It was rough.
Okay, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, this is terrible.
This is awful.
This is not a good comedy podcast story. But that same day, I go up to West Virginia. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. That's a crazy experience.
Yeah.
On the way back, not the same spot, a little bit further down the same highway, there's traffic backed up. And as I'm slowly making it around this bank, like in backed up bumper to bumper traffic, a fucking helicopter takes off, and they're airlifting this dead body out because a tractor trailer swerved and flipped and caught like 2 cars from both lanes and backed them up, and somebody died in it.
Damn.
The same highway, like maybe 4 hours later, and I was like right up on them multiple times. And then I think I said on the show, I was like 30 minutes ahead of that Kentucky shooting a couple weeks ago on I-75 when I was going to Lexington.
I didn't even know about the Kentucky shooting.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, people down here didn't know. I guess where I was in Kentucky, my whole algorithm, there was a dude who was just shooting cars off I-75, and he killed 5. And Haley called me, and she was panicking. She was like, where are you at? And I was like, 75 going to Lexington. Why? And she was like, what mile mark are you at? And I was like, 43. And she goes, there's a guy shooting cars at 23.
And so that was behind you. That was
behind me. I had stopped at exit 40 at a Cracker Barrel to take a break or whatever, like just stretch my legs. So I had been there about 30 minutes, and then I was maybe 20 minutes ahead. So maybe like an hour ahead technically of the dude just randomly shooting cars, and he killed 5.
Was he like on a bridge or something? Or
I never did. They don't even know for sure. They just have a picture of the dude.
They catch him?
They never found him. No. They just have a picture where they're like, we think this is the guy. If you see him, let us know. That's what I saw.
I never even heard of this.
It's just happened last weekend when I was in Kentucky, and I thought I said this.
No, I don't think you did, or I wasn't listening.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. No, I think what happened is he stopped one car. Like I guess he stopped his truck on an on ramp. The car got behind him. He killed them, and then you know how cars will pull up like curious or whatever, like get stuck behind. I think he got a few, and then he moved from exit 17 to exit 23 and did it again or something like. And then there was
completely random.
And the crazy story I read, there was a post in WJHL the next day where this lady was going from like New York to Knoxville for whatever reason. Yeah. And when she got to Knoxville, there was a bullet lodged in her rim of her car. And then she read about the Kentucky thing, and she had passed through there, and she realized that when she was in Kentucky, she was right next to this truck, and there was a loud boom, and this truck swerved and pulled over on the shoulder. She thought that the truck blew a tire. Like when she was driving.
No, she just got shot.
That guy got shot at, and the bullet came through the truck and landed in her rim, and she didn't realize it till she got to Knoxville.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like 30 minutes away. The crazier part, not crazier than that, but the next day, I was in Lexington waiting to come home, and they had the whole interstate shut down looking for him. So I had to kill some time. I was basically trapped there. Because like that area of Kentucky's just 75 through the mountains.
No, I've driven through there. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I was sitting in Lexington, and I was sitting in their mall the next day, killing time, and I was sitting in the food court, and I don't ever think like this, you know, like it's kind of sad that my brain does this these days. But I just started looking around, and I was like, there's fucking 600 people in this food court right now. And that door that I came in is just to the parking lot. And like, I have a gun in the car. I have a carry permit, you know, so I'm like, I could have just walked in that door and just unload.
I have those thoughts. They're very intrusive.
It got real bad when I had a kid. But where it had just happened, you know, the day before, that was an hour south of where I was sitting. We
were at the mall yesterday with our daughter, and we swung into Spirit Halloween because tis the season. Am I right?
Season, yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so we're there, and like this guy just starts yelling, like he's like, "Hey, he's robbing!" Like he was playing a fucking prank on his like person he was with, right? But he's just like, we're in the middle of Spirit Halloween. He's like, this guy's stealing. And I'm like, oh, there's loud noises, and I'm in a crowd with like one exit. And I'm like, no, I got to leave.
Just walk out.
I can't do this.
Absolutely.
And I assume that's what it was. This guy was just being a prank. The other story this is the most traumatizing thing that's probably ever happened to me. So
welcome back to the Trauma Podcast.
Yeah, since, and I may have told this story on the podcast. So when I was, I think 10, which would have been 2005, 2006. Mm-hmm. It'd been the summer of 2006. Cause my parents did not have cell phones yet. Okay. So still early on.
They're holding out.
Right. I mean, you know, it was, 2005.
Flip phones.
2006. That was the year of the flip phone.
Motorola's.
That was the era of the flip phones, but like not everyone had them.
You're broke is what you're saying.
We were broke. So anyway, my dad used to take me and my brother out on a canoe, and we'd just go to like Boone Lake and Wing Deer Park.
That story just took a left turn. We talking about how you didn't have cell phones, and then you're like, anyway, so we're on this canoe. Go ahead.
So I mean, like,
I'm assuming it ties in.
It does. That was the whole story.
Isn't that dramatic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Out there on a canoe
I was on the
with
water.
no phone.
Yeah. Could you imagine how bored I was?
Nothing to do. Yeah.
I didn't even have Pong to play on my phone or nothing, or Snake or whatever.
Anyway, please
so
God tie it together.
We're on this canoe and we're like paddling back to the dock to get out.
Sure.
And like most parks, it has multiple boating docks, right? And on one of the boating docks, there was these teenagers, young adults. I don't know. I was like 10, but they had like a ramp, and they were like riding their bikes into the water. Okay, like just doing like tricks into the water. And on the other side of the lake was all these boat docks. And this person on a jet ski comes flying through there and is like, she's looking at like these kids who are on like riding their bikes in the water.
Right.
Slams into a dock. Flies, 50 feet. Like, I don't even, right? So my dad paddles to that side. It's not that big of a lake. Like right here is not, it's not that wide of a lake, so you can just paddle the other side. Yeah. And like, somebody calls the police, and we had to like, the first responders come. We had to give like a statement, all this, see her get helicopter. We see on the news later that night or the next day that she'd passed away.
Pretty cool.
And my parents went to Verizon the next day, and my parents have had cell phones ever since.
I still don't understand that. Just so that they could call in the event of something.
Well, no, the reason, I'm sorry, to make that make sense is like, my dad told my mom we were going to be gone for like 2 or 3 hours. We ended up being gone for like 7 hours.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I see.
Yeah.
I thought your dad was like, we need a cell phone so that the next time we see someone on a jet ski.
We were just gone for like 5 hours longer than we were supposed to be. And my mom is like, oh, her entire family is on the fucking lake right now.
She just starts a new life.
Yeah,
she just
probably
moves away.
Think like everything.
You're like, we were only gone for 5 hours.
Think of every person you care about.
She's on a flight
is
to California.
On the water, and they're supposed to be back 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Probably start having some intrusive thoughts.
I'd just move.
And you can't get a hold of them.
I'd just move.
That was
just move away.
Yeah, that was it. I almost got into a car accident on Friday, like a really bad one.
Oh wow, that's fun.
I was driving like 40 miles an hour, and a lot of times, I might be partially at fault. Whatever.
You ever been in one?
Yeah, I got into
like a bad one.
Not into a bad. Not into a bad one. Not like the worst one we ever got into was Kayla was driving, of course, because woman. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was our fault.
I was really hoping you were going to go there, because if not, I was. Go ahead.
So anyway.
I was going to say, I figured.
Yeah, we were... we were driving. It was New Year's Eve. It was like 6 o'clock. We just left the liquor store. We were stone sober. We were like going to a party that we're like going back to our house to throw a party.
Let me guess, she was leaving the voting booth. Am I right?
No. So we're driving home, and just doing nothing. And this chick, obviously, runs a stop sign and hits
2 women drivers. It's amazing you're alive.
I know, dude. It hit my side of the car. Kayla was driving. I wasn't driving. So, but no, it hit like the, honestly, like if Kayla would have been like a little bit like further back, that car would have hit me directly, but it hit the back of the car.
Right.
So it kind of fucked my leg up a little bit. I didn't go to I couldn't, like I was limping for like 2 days because it kind of like.
Did it total it?
No, it should have, but no. She didn't have a car for like 10 months because it was in the middle of COVID and like you couldn't find the fucking parts. And then I rear-ended somebody last year getting off the interstate because they
weren't even in your car. All right.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Fuck. I was trying to give
you, dude. That's
dude. You deserved it. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. God damn. Okay. Sorry.
That's a Zach Galifianakis joke a long time ago where he's like, I rear-ended the guy in traffic the other day. Thank God I wasn't in my car.
That's a funny joke. That's a good joke. That's a very Zach Galifianakis era.
Yeah. That's Live at the Purple Onion. He has a bunch of them in there. He also has, my dad used to beat me with his belt, then he'd take it off.
I've heard that one.
He also has that.
I've heard that one before. People are like, ew.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
He did that one. That was like it's almost like performance art. He had like an easel with pages, and he would flip them. So like the front page said, my dad used to beat me with his belt, and then he'd flip it and say, and then he'd take it off. Like,
I've seen the clips.
So stupid.
I've never seen the full special, but I've seen clips of it.
So dumb.
Do you have Coke in that cup?
No, it's cold brew.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, this man just rolled up with
I like my coffee like I like my men.
Liter of Coke.
Bitter.
Liter of cola.
And black.
With a liter of cola.
Yeah.
We're making dumb references. Anyway, no, the accident I got into, like I was getting off the interstate and somebody just like, it was like no stopping. You're not supposed to stop getting off this interstate.
Yes.
And we're going 30 miles an hour and this guy just stomps on his brakes and I just
pretty cool.
Did not have the reaction time. I was on my way to a closing. I was 30 minutes late.
I remember you saying it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I've told the one on 26 on here before, right?
I don't know.
That I saw.
I was getting off 26.
I think maybe Michael Mullen was here, is my memory, when we talked about this. 26 there's always a wreck. But I saw one that was like a Michael Bay movie. Like cars were fucking flipping up over. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah. I think you did tell me that.
As I got off the exit ramp, I've told that on the
show. Yeah. You saw it happening. You just got off the interstate.
Literally.
You're like, it's not my problem.
Going up the ramp, I was like, oh, shit.
I saw somebody getting off 26 also. They were, to be fair, it was their fault, but it was not their fault at the same time. So we were like getting off. We're at a red light. It turns green, and this chick just starts going because it turns green, and this cop fucking flies through the intersection, lights on, hits the cop. I mean, debris is this cop is going
pretty cool.
45, 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And she hits him. And everyone was okay, but she just gets I said, you're stuck. I mean, we're stuck there for fucking ever at this point because we just saw her hit a cop. And she just is standing out of her car like, fuck. Yeah. Like,
my buddy Brandon is a cop locally. And he has this footage he showed me. He got hit in his cruiser by a random person that ran a red light too. She T-boned him in an intersection. And he's got the video of the cop car behind him from the dash cam. You see him pull out his cruiser and then she just fucking, no brakes, just slams it.
Oh, was he good?
Oh, yeah, he's fine. I mean, those cruisers are built for it.
Yeah.
You know, he's fine. But he got a new cruiser out of it. He upgraded to an SUV.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's
he
dope.
was like, it's worth it.
Yeah. Worth it. That's dope. Yeah.
I got in a bad one when I was a kid. Do you know that? Like a really, really bad one. Like they cut the roof off and airlifted out. And everything.
Like you were airlifted out?
I wasn't. Bob was.
Oh, damn. No,
I'm going to tell you this story because I don't think I have told this one on the show. And I really want your honest. Obviously, this is a comedy podcast. This is not a very funny story, but this is.
It cannot be worse than the story about the motorcycle accident you told a second ago.
No, it's not gnarly like that. It's just, it's weird. I'm not, we never really get into like spirituality or anything on the show. And I'm not really like a very religious person these days or anything. I was raised that way, but anyways, sometimes things happen and I don't know how to make sense of them. You know, like your human brain just can't compute stuff sometimes. Anyways, we lived in Blountville when I was a kid. We were leaving. Do you know where that food country used to be on 394 in Blountville? This is very in the weeds for somebody.
Like the highway?
Yeah, like that. Yeah. It goes downhill and there's a huge curve up towards Blountville.
Yeah.
But then there's that it's not food country anymore, but it's a huge building.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Across from the storage place. Yeah. Anyways, for anybody listening who's not from here, it's a highway with a huge downhill slope.
It's like 50 the whole way.
It's supposed to be 50. People do fucking 90. Yeah. People fly. I fly on it.
Tell you where it's a couple miles up from the fireworks store, right? Even get more local.
No,
you guys know the fireworks store if you've ever driven through here.
We're in different spots. Anyways, same highway, way further. So we're pulling out of there, and as luck would have it, now we know the person who hit us was actually the ex-wife of a coworker of Mom's. Like, or Mom worked with this lady who was the current wife of this guy, and his ex-wife is who hit us. And we know because she was on the phone with him and Mom's coworker that she was late to pick up her kids from them, and she was saying, I'm on the way right now, I'm doing 70, I'm going to be there soon.
She's on the phone with these people
on the phone as she hits us.
That's crazy.
So Mom goes to work, and her coworker is like, oh my God, that was you that got hit. I know that lady, she was doing 70. It's my husband's ex-wife, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So she's doing 70. Doesn't even tap the brakes. Mom didn't see it. I don't know how. We pull out in front of her. We get T-boned. It hits right on Mom's mirror, like right on Mom's driver's side mirror. And it's, it scoots us away. Like, it's fucked.
Yeah.
And we're in a Hyundai Tiburon throwback, a little coupe. I was in the front. I had just gotten the booster seat in the front, or I would have been in the back. And on Mom's side, probably it would have been bad. Anyways, we were getting groceries, and we get hit, and I'm out. I mean, it knocks us both out. But when I wake up, there's like, for anybody who's been in the car crash, you kind of know it's like, or been unconscious even. There's like a ringing in your ears, and there's like a fuzziness, and it's a weird
almost, smell too.
There's a weird smell. It's like
airbag smell.
Right. Yep. It's like a montage. Really, you're not really awake. It's almost like you're seeing a movie. Like looking around.
It's very slow.
It's weird. It's slow. Yeah. And also, I was I always get the timing wrong. I have to call. Mom's gonna listen to this and be pissed. I think.
How old were you?
That's what I'm not for sure. 10 or 12. 9, 10, 12, somewhere right
Yeah,
there.
you're okay to have fuzzy details on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, particularly given how hard we got hit. Anyway, so we get hit. I wake up, it's fuzzy. The glass is all shattered. I'm cut up pretty bad. The worst was the seat belt I was in the passenger, so from right shoulder to left hip, the seat belt had kind of wedged its way into my skin a little bit. Like it cut me pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of like forcibly like pull and get it out of me. And I used to have a scar when I was little. I had a scar straight across. I grew out of it now. It's kind of stretched out, but I got fat. Anyways, so seatbelt cut me pretty bad. My hands had like little glass shards in them. I remember my nose is busted from the airbag. All that good stuff. But I look over to my left, and Mom is like slumped over and like on her door, like this way for our listeners to the left on her door, and her head is kind of down. And I reached over, like I had to lean, and I reached over and grabbed her arm and pulled it. I was like very scared, and I raised it, and when I let it go, it just dropped, like just dead. And so in my childhood brain, she's dead. Like she's 100% dead. I didn't understand. Obviously, you don't know about being unconscious or what.
Yeah.
I just assumed my mom's dead. And anyways, so then I'm like, well, I got to get out of here. Like I don't even know. I don't know that I had any idea what had happened. It just like we could
know what happened.
We could have got hit by a missile for all I know. I have no fucking idea. So your brain just goes, I got to get out of here for whatever reason. So try to get out, but my door is wedged, because the dent to the front end kind of shifted the whole hood, and my door is wedged, and I can't get it. And I'm looking through my window, which is maybe cracked or something, but it was there. And there's a man's face, like somebody had stopped and is like looking in, and they're saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, I don't know, And then there's nobody around the front. It's just this guy. And I was trying to open it, and I started to point down at the door in the window, like I can't get it. And I remember him taking like all his weight and pulling, and it pulled, and the door, I don't think it fell off the hinges. I think it just popped open, like through the weird wedge that it was in or whatever. Yeah. Popped open. I get out. He sits me down, and he's like, do you have anybody we can call? And the only phone number I memorized really my entire life was my grandparents' home phone at the time. They had a home phone number. So I tell him, like, 423-99, whatever. So he calls. They come, and we didn't live far away at the time. They come, and by the time they get there, I'm sitting on a fire truck on the front of it. And a lot of this, again, is fuzzy, and it's other people telling me this.
Trauma.
Yeah. I'm sitting on a fire truck. There's all kinds of people gathered around. The whole highway is stopped. And they wind up, fast forward a little bit, they wind up cutting the roof off the car, airlifting Mom out, and then go to the hospital. And then I found out hours later that she's alive. Like for a while, I was living under the assumption that she had died. And I remember them like walking me into her hospital room, her hotel room, where they put you in a gown. Anyway, so then comes this thing where it's like I'm asking everybody I got to thank that guy that helped me out. I'm like, somebody, let me, and everybody universally is like, what guy?
Yeah.
All of them are like, who are you talking about? And I was like, the guy. Like I could describe, till this day, I can see his face in my brain. I know exactly what he looked like. And I'm like, he's in the fucking thing.
They have like long brown hair and a beard?
No, not at all. Not at all. That's the thing. Not at all. Just looked like, he actually looked a lot like my drum instructor at the time. I was taking drums. And I thought it was him. I was like, is that fucking Brandon? Like in your child brain, you see somebody who looks similar. And so my memory of it is he looks kind of like him, but different. Anyway, so till this day, I'll bring it up every now and then. And everybody, like my grandparents, like we were the first ones there. Like, and I was like, well, somebody called you. Who called you? And they were not called. They happened to be driving by and saw a wreck. And then as they got close, they realized it was us and got out. They were never called. In my memory, somebody had me call them.
I don't know, dude.
But they just happened to, but isn't that weird though? Like the way, also I'm 9. I just suffered massive head trauma. It's hard to say all the mixed things.
I don't know, man. It could be like, that is crazy timing if nobody called them.
Right. Their story is nobody called us. We just happened to be passing by.
Crazy timing.
Which would imply that there was some, it's very weird, and I don't even like talking about it because I don't understand it. But it is a little strange. And then Mom has some memory that I know I'm going to fuck up, so I'm not going to say it exactly. But she has some memory of they put this blanket over her, like as they're cutting the roof off so that debris and shrapnel and shit doesn't fall on her. And I'm thinking that the story from her perspective is that she was in the driver's seat, obviously, and she kind of came to a little bit to the sound of the whatever, Jaws of Life.
Yeah, whatever.
Taking the roof off. And that kind of brings her out of it. And when she looks over at the passenger seat, she realizes she's under a blanket. And I think her memory is there's a guy who she says is a firefighter in the passenger seat, and he kind of just like reaches over and touches her and is like, it's okay. Like it's our.
That feels like something they would do.
They're cutting the roof off of it. Except for I have no fucking clue how that guy would have got back in my door the way it was like wedged and shit, you know? And especially if he's a firefighter and he's in gear and all that
ripped
shit.
Ripped it off all the way, don't you think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But also I don't know why he would get in there under a blanket with her. Why wouldn't they just put the blanket over her? Yeah. Maybe in case she woke up so he could I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness. There's also a lot of head trauma involved. So it's like, who knows?
Also at least a concussion.
Oh, way worse.
So how bad hurt was your mom?
Bad. It knocked, this is going to sound made up. It knocked her ear stones loose. So in your ears,
it's like the crystals that like
you have 3 stones that control your balance and like your orientation. Hers are loose. So like if she goes on a roller coaster, they roll. And her whole 3 dimensions, like all 3 axes, just rotate. It just extreme.
So she has vertigo now.
Extreme vertigo. Like whole perception. Yeah. Her whole perception spins. She does these like maneuvers all the time on her head and stuff to get them back aligned, so that like her vertigo will stop and stuff. It's crazy. And not to mention just the trauma and the head trauma, especially. But I had a lot of head trauma as a kid. That's one of 5 stories where I got hit really hard. Yeah. I went blind for a day. Have I told that story on here? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. You get hit with a baseball?
I tripped during a baseball game on concrete and hit the back of my skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, and then you like were crying whenever you could see again or something?
When I couldn't. Yeah. I just thought I was blind. Yeah.
And then like everyone gaslit you and then you ran into that one guy.
100%.
Yeah, that's 100%. So funny.
And that guy was like, "Remember when you went blind?" I was like, "I fucking knew it." Yeah.
Can you imagine gaslighting somebody
for years?
Yeah, dude. That's
probably
so
like that's
funny.
not possible. And maybe it's. I mean, it could have also been some weird. You know, the brain is crazy. Like the brain may have swooped in and overridden everything. Like just put me in shutdown mode to protect us or whatever. Like your brain will do that shit.
Yeah.
Where it's just like we're shutting down.
The chick that hit y'all though, was she like fine?
Fine.
That's how it goes.
Pretty fine. Yeah.
I mean, typically, if you're hitting, like, if you're the one hitting.
Worst part is the ones who got the blank. Like, mom got the ticket.
Really?
Yeah, because, like, technically she pulled out.
But she was speeding.
Doesn't matter.
That's fucking crazy. When I rear-ended that person, I didn't get a ticket.
You know what the most devastating part of it for me was?
What?
We had just been shopping. We had just been grocery shopping at that food country.
Oreos were shot.
There was a scattered, popped bag of Lay's sour cream and cheddar.
That was the worst thing?
My favorite chips, and it was pretty devastating.
That was the worst thing?
There was chips everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Dude, when I rear-ended that person, I had the coolest cop ever. We had the coolest fucking cop ever show up.
Yeah.
So it didn't do a lot. It did much more damage to my car than his.
Magnum PI showed up?
No, it was some lady. They have jobs now. It's crazy. And
what is with you today?
I started
Jesus
it earlier.
Christ, we're giving them guns now?
Yeah, and she drives all the time. Anyway, so but this cop shows up, and there was a little bit of damage to this guy's car, but there was much more damage to my car. And she was very much on my side that this guy was not supposed to fucking stop. And she is like, look, he probably shouldn't have stopped there.
Yeah.
If he makes a claim, like, you got to talk to your insurance about it, but I'm not going to give you a ticket because he really shouldn't have stopped.
That's cool.
And I'm like,
yeah,
good
for her.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, whenever you follow.
Thank God you got a female cop because she just did not want to do her job. And that really. That really helped you. She was like, listen, I don't want to do the paperwork for this bullshit. Yeah. Can you just suck it up and go home?
She was like, I hate that I even have to work.
Yeah.
You know? We support women's rights. Listen,
we sure do.
We sure do. It's
I know. We're sitting
here
talking shit all day. That's big words coming from a guy wearing this hat also. This looks like the hat that my Scoutmaster fucked me in. That's what this looks like. This is bad. All right. Trauma.
It wasn't as good.
I was sneaking it in. I like this hat.
It's a nice hat.
I bought it
when you were 14
in Lexington, actually, while I was killing time.
When you were killing time while that guy. Never mind.
Killing time, trying not to be murdered on the interstate. Yeah,
dude. I've been doing something fun lately.
Jerking off.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun?
It is so fun. I've been doing the best comedy show TV bracket.
Oh yeah,
on my Facebook.
You sure have. And you were just telling me how much fun and how glad you are that you've been doing it.
Created the most fucking controversy. And I'm like, Yeah,
Michael actually said he's going to do one a month from now on.
No, I am. This is way too early, but I am planning a big one with like a cash giveaway.
Oh God.
Because it's
a cash giveaway for what? How do you do that? Just whoever picks the show that's going to win.
Oh, the cash part is a good sponsor because I'm not paying. Yeah,
but I mean, how do you win a bracket with?
You submit a bracket.
Oh, everybody submits.
Yeah, you got to submit a bracket, and then whoever is like the closest.
What if multiple people submit the split pot?
Sure, I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. I haven't.
Just in theory. Also, I don't understand how this came about. But anyway, go ahead. The bracket, right?
How the bracket came about?
Well, no, just what shows are on it for the listener.
Okay, so the idea came about a month or so ago. I posted a made a Facebook post because I saw somebody like saying how The Office is better than Parks and Rec, and I am on the Parks and Rec is better than The Office camp.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm on the other side of that.
So, but and that was like that sparked up all this shit,
right?
And everyone was like, "Well, New Girl's better than all of those, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine's better than all of those," which is just factually incorrect. But
agreed.
Whatever
for both of those.
For both of those. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, fuck it. We're gonna do to my limited face. That's the other thing that people don't realize.
There's like 7 people.
I have 1,000 friends on Facebook.
Yeah, and there's only 7 engaging with this.
Yeah, it's like 50 a day.
50, yeah.
I have 1,000 friends on Facebook. So I had a list, a very small list, and I was like, look, I want to do this. Send me some suggestions. And then so people sent me a bunch of suggestions to include on the list. So it's like a bunch of new stuff, a bunch of old stuff.
Right.
And so like some of the best, like the...
Yeah, I saw some, like I think Katie was like, what about the Dick Van Dyke Show and stuff? And I mean,
it's in there.
There's a special place in my heart for all those shows, especially like Andy Griffith, Sanford and Son. They're just not going to win. Nobody watches them.
They're not, like, it's not a perfect, that's the other thing people don't realize. I'm doing 32 shows. I'm not doing 64.
Yeah.
If I was doing 64 shows, yeah, I could have...
Even then, those are just not going to win.
I could have more of each.
They should.
I could have old on one side, new on one side, so then there's Golden Girls versus whatever.
Yeah. Is it on there?
Golden Girls just fucking destroyed. Everybody loves Raymond.
Whoa.
Destroyed.
That actually kind of shocks me. In my home, that would never happen. We're Raymond fans.
I think Betty White is overhyped. So I'm just gonna say
Jesus, what are you trying to do to us? I'd rather talk about car crashes again.
I also think Dolly Parton is overhyped as well.
You better watch your fucking mouth.
Listen, I think they're both net positives to society.
You're lucky Pruitt bailed on us today. He'd kick your ass.
I think they're both net positives to society, but I also think that
it's just like any beloved celebrity. It's like, why do we like them?
No, it's like I'm okay with you liking them,
because she's 90 with fake tits.
I know somebody who like. I mean his obsession with Dolly Parton makes me like it's a little unsettling. No. Anyway, so the big controversy came on the very first day, the very first matchup.
Right.
Which was Parks and Rec versus Seinfeld.
Yeah.
What would you vote for?
I have never given two things. I've never given Parks and Rec a fair shot.
Okay. So you would go Seinfeld.
I'll say that. But I do not particularly enjoy the humor of the show Seinfeld.
Okay. Well,
so in that one, honestly, by default, I'd probably say Parks and Rec, just because I can confirm that I don't particularly enjoy Seinfeld, whereas with Parks and Rec, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't really given it a fair shot.
So Parks and Rec beat Seinfeld, and people got
that kind of shocks me.
Pissed. Yeah. It was close, but people got
that does kind of shock
fucking mad.
Just when I think of like mass opinion, I would assume that Seinfeld.
It was close, but Parks and Rec won.
Do you think Kramer's blow up had anything to do with that?
No. I think people.
You agree with everything?
No. I think. Okay, listen. We live in the South. So I would argue that my friends on Facebook like Kramer more now.
Right.
Do you know
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
The set? It's fucking
it's
wild.
rough.
It's wild. Like, I'm bombed. It's
rough,
I've never Kramered, dude.
Yeah.
Kramered is a new...
we've all had a bomb. I've never started dropping the N-word. I was doing so bad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I have, but I've never done it that many times in a row. Yeah.
So that created a lot of controversy, and people were like, oh, your friends are too young. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, dude, I have 1,000 people.
Age demographic has a lot to do with it,
So the next day...
Yeah.
The next controversy was Ted Lasso versus Married with Children.
I saw that controversy a little bit.
That was the biggest one. I didn't expect that controversy.
Again, I've never seen Ted Lasso.
I've not seen Ted Lasso either.
So I would vote Married with Children, although I don't particularly enjoy the humor of it either.
Married with Children had 11 seasons, and Ted Lasso only has 2. Well, yeah, Ted Lasso is being like voted in polls as like one of the best shows of all time. So
yeah, I don't think the seasons argument matters. I think you're talking about popularity and also just production value and things. Like there's a lot of other things.
So then we had How I Met Your Mother versus I Love Lucy.
People are going to vote Lucy on that just for nostalgia, right? And for groundbreaking, which they should. I understand that. See, that's the problem with competitions like this. It's like, what are you defining as the best? Like, is it the most iconic? Is it the funniest? Is it
just whatever you want?
Longevity?
Like, whatever you want. Like whatever.
That's the problem, though. That's why people are going to argue.
And so, How I Met Your Mother won, which I agree with. I think objectively, it's a funnier show. It's the best comedy show is the name of the bracket.
It was written 5 years after. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Right.
But like for me, and so people got pissed. The I Love Lucy fans showed the fuck up for that one. And then we had
it's great.
Mad About You versus The Big Bang Theory, which I don't even know why that's a discussion.
If one person picked Big Bang.
Are you kidding me? Everyone picked Big Bang.
Big Bang is so not funny, Michael. Listen, Big Bang is the definition of
Big Bang
appealing to retarded people.
Big Bang has the broad appeal that Mad About You did at the time, but
Big Bang had the funding.
And then so today,
that's the problem.
Or yesterday was Golden Girls versus Everybody Love Raymond. Golden Girls won. Whatever.
That does shock me.
But the day before that, Golden Girls shit on Everybody Loves Raymond.
I think if Everybody Loves Raymond was up against anything else, it would win.
No,
Golden Girls is just beloved.
Golden Girls, I think, Golden Girls' biggest competition is whoever
Raymond's
wins Parks and Rec.
I could quote that whole show just about. I mean, that was like a core part of my childhood.
So the other big controversy came 2 days ago, which was Modern Family versus Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I've never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Not really interested in seeing it. I genuinely am baffled at how people enjoy Modern Family. Like sometimes Haley watches it on Sundays a lot of times as I'm like leaving to come do the show, and I'll sit. I swear to God, I've tried. I've tried to go in with an open mind. Here's the problem. This is a sitcom bracket, right?
Yeah, there's others.
Well, I mean, that's why The Office stands out for me.
Parks and Rec's not a sitcom.
I can't fucking stand studio laugh tracks. I can't do it.
There's a couple with Modern Family doesn't have laugh track.
It's just I don't.
Nothing that has moved on yet has a Golden Girls. I don't know if they have laugh track. Is there a laugh track in Golden Girls?
Oh yeah.
So Golden Girls is the only one that's moved on so far that has a laugh track.
Studio audience laugh track multicam shit. I think it feels so antiquated to me that I just can't do it. Not to mention
neither one of these shows, Modern
Family
and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, neither one of those.
No, I'm not saying those specifically. I'm just saying I can't sitcoms in general like that. I don't know. I just can't do it. And also this is very niche, but like I took a lot of film stuff in college too, but like forced introductions for characters or like forced information in scenes bothers me.
Yeah,
like when you walk in and they're like, "What are you doing here, John Smith?" And he's like, "Well, Sheila Arnold, I'm here because I'm John Smith." And it's like just fucking forcing information to make your viewer aware of
what's
the
that
scene.
called?
Annoying is what it's called. No, there is a term for sure.
Yeah.
But it's and even like oh God, I was watching something last night. Whiplash. We went to have you ever seen the movie Whiplash? Incredible. One of my favorite films of all time. And it's the 10-year anniversary, so it's back in theaters for just this weekend. We went last night. And I even noticed there's like it's all about this school, Schaefer Conservatory, and it's like the #1 music school in the country. They're watching it this time. Haven't seen it before. There's quite a few instances where they say, well, you know, like he's on a date and she's like, "Why'd you pick Schaefer?" And he's like, "Because Schaefer Conservatory is the #1 music school in the country." It just feels a little forced.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can't think of what that's called. Anyway, so Modern Family and Brooklyn Nine-Nine had a weird amount of controversy, which was a different controversy.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the Sandberg.
Andy Sandberg. Right. I like both the shows, but I get burnt out on both those shows. I've never finished either of them because they just are too repetitive for me. Brooklyn Nine-Nine does have a better story than Modern Family, but Modern Family is more funny.
I'm always going to vote for the classics.
I would vote for Modern Family over Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is what won. But here's the thing. So all the other controversies was like, oh, you're doing old against new, old against new, old against new. And then I do 2 new ones, and people are like, those are too good of shows to be against each other in the first round. And I'm like,
what were the 2? What'd you do?
Modern Family and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh.
And Modern Family won.
People are just going to shit talk no matter what. I mean, you're just going to have to accept it. Nobody's ever going to be happy with something you're doing.
I know. But it's just funny, the controversies. Right. But now today's Workaholics versus Martin. We have Wings versus Schitt's Creek in a couple days.
Schitt's Creek will win.
Hopefully. I like Schitt's Creek.
Wings is not great.
And then...
What was the other one? Martin and what?
Workaholics, which is today.
Yeah, I'd go Martin all day long in that
Yeah. I'm going to cough, so you talk for a second, and I'm going to take my mic away from my mouth while I do it. All so just giving everyone a warning.
Appreciate you letting us know. Yeah, I like the show, Martin. I mean, obviously, I think with all of these, you have to examine it through the lens of when it came out. Like, I Love Lucy gets points because it was so groundbreaking in 1955 or whatever the hell.
But the thing is like, 60. I just want people to pick, like, what do you like more? That's all it is. What do you like more?
Right.
It's not. The
problem is
this is the top 25 comedy shows of all time. It's what do the people like more?
Problem is everyone is going to tell you why their opinion is correct.
Exactly.
People are self-entitled, self-indulgent pricks.
So
everybody.
That was the left side of the bracket. There's only 32 shows. I'm not going to go through every single match. I'm going to go through the matchups on the right side because I think there's some bangers on this side. Okay. Curb Your Enthusiasm versus New Girl.
Couldn't care less, but Curb for sure.
I would go New Girl, but because Curb is too similar to Seinfeld for me.
I'd go Curb all day long.
That 70s Show versus Full House.
Full House for me.
Really?
Yeah, just for nostalgia. I just never watched that 70s show.
I watched a lot of that 70s show.
This really all depends on family dynamic, too. Like, we never watch that shit, but we watch Full House every morning.
Friends versus Cheers. I've never seen Cheers.
That's a tough one. I love Cheers.
Never seen
That's a tough one for me. I would probably still go Friends.
So
that's going to be a barn.
This is my favorite matchup, I think. I think this is I think if people might have a fucking opinion that I included one of these shows, but I think the two shows are a very good matchup for each other. The Cosby Show versus Family Matters. I think people could be like, why'd you have the Cosby Show on there? Well, it was...
I'll go Cosby
show. I go Family Matters on that.
I support Bill Cosby.
There's controversy on this one. It's not even happened yet.
Just caught up with you.
That was good.
Yeah.
There's controversy on this one. It hasn't even happened yet. And it's The Office versus 30 Rock.
Oh, it's The Office.
Oh, easily.
Honestly, thinking back on this list, I would have a hard time picking anything over The Office.
So
it might win my bracket.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Next round is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Well, spoke too soon because I think Fresh Prince might take the cake.
Fresh Prince and The Office will, if they win, they go up against each other next.
That's a tough one for me.
And then there's Frasier.
The scene, I would probably go Fresh Prince based on one scene.
The dad scene?
Dude.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea? Think about me.
I was in a hotel last month, and I turned on the TV, and that episode was on, and I watched that show.
Think about what you know about me.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what that fucking episode does to me, dude? That episode.
Well,
I'm not ashamed to say, dude. That episode makes me cry like a fucking child.
This just got real.
That's,
I kind of want to hug you.
I think that's one of the best episodes in the history of television.
And he wrote that line.
That moment, right?
Yeah.
Just that scene alone is fucking so powerful.
And he wrote that scene.
Well, he had a real experience as growing up that kind of came out, and I think the did you watch the reunion special thing? It's actually great on on HBO.
Uncle Phil died.
He did,
right.
But he was an amazing talent, an amazing actor, and he pulled Will aside and kind of gave him pointers on how to play that scene. And he was like, he's the one who said, just pull from your child, just go there. Really go there and throw it all out there, and he did. I mean, it's fun. Yeah, that scene's wild.
I think Fresh Prince. There's a couple potential upsets I could see in this, and I think Fresh Prince is like one of the ones that might make it.
I love that show.
Then we have Frasier versus Arrested Development.
Frasier all day.
I would abstain from that. I'm abstaining after some. I voted in the first round, and then there was all the controversy, and I'm like, I'm not voting anymore.
Yeah.
But like that's one of the ones that I truly would abstain from.
Here's about Frasier,
because I like them both a lot, and I don't know which one I like more.
Two things. One about Frasier is my family despised it as a kid, and then at some point along the way they flipped,
and
now they love it, and now it's like their favorite show. And so I grew up hating it, and then I grew up loving it. I love it. What I think will hold it back is, for better or worse, it is a very, very intelligent comedy. Like, my mom is a therapist. She's a psychologist.
So she gets
so it hits with her on a whole nother level. Like, she catches every little psychology pun, like all of it. For that reason, I could see people not voting for it.
I think Arrested Development, it would be an easy Arrested Development vote for me if the Netflix seasons didn't exist.
The problem is all these shows are great. That's the reason they're on this list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the final matchup in the first round is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia versus The Drew Carey Show.
Sunny.
Easy.
Easy.
So a lot of people think
to be honest with you, I wasn't even aware that there was a Drew Carey show. I know who
I've
he
never
is,
seen it
but
either.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
So a lot of people think that I individually put these up against each other. Blah 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 blah.
Did you just auto-generate it?
I had the 32 shows. I put them in a bracket, and there was a randomize option, and I randomized it until one thing happened.
Well, you're never gonna please everybody.
I randomized it until one thing happened, and it was my only bias that's in the entire fucking bracket.
Is your two favorites?
And I wanted Parks and Rec and The Office on opposite sides.
That fair though, because those are the two that split the room.
That was the two that inspired the whole thing.
I think those two really split the room more than any.
I agree, and those are
except maybe Cheers and Friends. I think that's gonna be a fucking barn burner for sure.
If Friends gets knocked out in the first round, I'm gonna be surprised. And so that was like
people love Cheers. Though.
The reason I did that was because like those were the two that inspired the whole fucking thing.
Let me ask you this.
Those are my two favorites, so I wanted them.
Your Facebook follower, like the people who are engaging in this, is their average age above or below 40?
I would say it's pretty split.
If it's above 40, Cheers wins. If it's below, Friends wins. I think that one is purely age-based.
I would say under 40 more, but like
then Friends will win.
Okay, I mean think of this, dude. I'm 30. I'm almost 30.
Yeah, you're old.
Right? So like most of like it's not mostly people. There's a lot of people that I went to high school with who vote. There's a lot of like real estate agents and like people in the real estate world that vote, which are not always my age.
That's Cheers.
And then I have comedy friends too that are voting a lot.
They'll
also
vote Cheers too.
And so like it's pretty split. But the
Comics
thing,
hate on Friends, but I mean I love Friends.
Have you ever watched Friends without a laugh track? You ever seen those clips? It's the
laugh track does
most
bother
uncomfortable.
Me. Any show without a laugh track, you take the laugh track out, it's weird. Raymond is the same way. Everybody Loves Raymond's the same way.
It's weird.
There's also this is real in the weeds. There's an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where a bug crawls across the camera lens and they just left it in.
I love that.
It's like in the early seasons when they had no budget.
Yeah, that's
there's a
so
huge
funny.
fucking like a cockroach that crawls across screen and it looks colossal because it's on the camera lens.
Can you tell it's a cockroach?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
you see the antennas come first. It's like I think it's upper left corner to bottom right.
And they don't acknowledge it because they don't know what's happening.
No, you just see antennas and then you just see a bug go across, and then nobody ever.
Did they ever make a reference to it in like a later season?
Nope.
That's so.
In fact, I'm the only person I know that's ever noticed. But
I know I've not watched that much.
I could probably find the episode right now and show you.
But yeah, so like, well, the thing that kills me with it too is, a lot of people think I just put a bunch of bias in it, and then I did these matchups because I wanted to see whatever won. Blah blah blah. I didn't do that. First of all, like just take that out of it. I did not make any bias in it, other than the Parks and Rec Office thing. The other thing is people don't realize how brackets work, right? They're mad that Seinfeld got knocked out in the first round. Well, second round is going up against Ted Lasso.
People are just gonna be mad, man. You just gotta accept when you do something like that, when you put something out, that you're just gonna get.
The idea is, and I'm okay. Like I think it's very funny. All the controversy, I think it's very funny. Like it's whatever.
Engagement.
It's engagement. It's funny. I'm okay. I would rather the controversy than like people not engaging in it because it's showing people passionate. And another reason of the idea was, and this is just kind of like, I don't speak about my politics. I don't speak on politics
because he's wrong.
Public. I don't. Well, I mean, I make jokes about it here. It's a comedy podcast, whatever. I don't care. It's my comedian friends who listen to this. I don't care.
Right.
But I don't publicly talk about politics, religions, anything.
No, of course not.
At all. Because I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm a business owner. I'm not an idiot.
Because you're not most people.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so having said that, we are 2 months away from an election.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is at each other's throats.
And you're taking them away from that.
I'm trying to like create something fun that takes people away from each other.
And even in that, people are hateful, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that was like
it's kind of funny.
I wanted to see I wanted to get I wanted like to talk to people and have that conversation started with like.
However, there are some parallels to what you're talking about though. Here, like even in this small example, you have 50 people going, "My side's right." No, my side's right. Fuck you. My side, you're wrong. Yeah. Like never once has a person been like, "Actually, both the shows are great." Like that's literally
some comment was like one person. Yeah. One of my friends, Katie, not Steigers. I used to work with Katie. I think we're neighbors now, also, which is weird. But she commented. I think it was the Modern Family Brooklyn Nine-Nine one, and she was like, "Why did you put these two?" Like, I love both of these shows, but I gotta go funny. Modern Family.
It's almost the opposite of the politics conversation where everybody's like, "My side's right, no, mine is," and then there's always one person, the correct person, who's like, "Actually, you're both wrong." Whereas with this, it's actually you're both right. They're both great shows. Like
that's the thing, and I love it. Like, I mean, it's just again, like I just kind of wanted to take some people away from like.
Boy, you really think you're
the hate
doing the world a service, huh?
No, it's just me
really
doing a service.
I
wanted to be getting on. So I wanted like an opportunity to get on social media and there not be hate.
It is hilarious
against
though,
the presidential
election. I'm going to do
something
all
this
that's going to bring people together, and then there's 50 people
going,
"Fuck people. You, you're wrong."
There's people.
That's social media. Dude.
I've had people text me,
if
but
we
like,
in a
what
room,
is? I'll see people at the office and like, how are you doing? Like, why did you put these? And I'm like, just vote.
True.
Just vote.
If we're in a room with those same 50 people, I would argue that it would be a lot more civil. I think that social media just, for whatever reason, promotes bitterness and pettiness and hate, and just you can hide behind your screen, And all 50 of those people don't really know each other also, so it's easy for them to go,
funny seeing
that stranger's a fucking retard.
It is so funny seeing my worlds collide now. Yeah. Like, it is so
I don't
funny.
like that. I'm like thinking about planning a birthday dinner for myself here in a couple months, and I'm like, here's all the people I want to invite, but I literally need to have 6 separate dinners. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
When you try to,
I know that I won't get invited.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just
it came to mind last year.
Don't you fucking hate that? You're welcome. Have you ever done that? Tried to like merge friend groups? It's the worst. It's the worst.
I've never, no, not really, because I don't know. Kind of like the comedy friends. I have one friend who I love. He's my best friend, but I don't introduce him to my other
merging
friends.
friend groups makes me wish I was in another.
Actually, my 2 best friends are both really big assholes, and like,
he's talking about me.
I love them.
He's definitely talking.
No,
I'm
not talking about you at all. No, I do have one more thing I want to talk about. I want to talk. This is like. Because this is my platform, and that's gonna all tie in together. This is our platform.
We're gonna reach 4 people.
We don't have a guest.
This show is, if you want Joe Bridges to know about something, this is the place to come and tell.
Also, I do want to shout out Joe Bridges before we move on from the bracket. And Joe, this part is specifically for you. Thank you for engaging in every single vote and every single post I've made, but not voting one time. Not voting. So every day it's like
That's
laugh for one show, heart for another show, right? And Joe will just angry everything every time, or like care, or something, like just not vote in every single one. And I just want to shout you out, Joe. Thank you. That makes me laugh.
He's nothing if not consistent.
He commented on this one. I don't even know what it says yet.
He's consistently fucking up anything you're trying to do.
I love him. Yeah. But no, I do want to say like one thing. Because this is our platform, and this isn't really we'll make it funny and whatever. But recently, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. She did. Okay. Mm-hmm. And not everyone, a lot of people are like, celebrities shouldn't have any say in politics, blah, 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 blah. But then they like promote celebrities on their side who have a say in politics, or like who endorse certain candidates or whatever.
Right.
And then like on the flip side of it, people who are like happy that Taylor Swift are like, oh, don't listen to these people. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Celebrities shouldn't have say in politics. You can't fucking say, just because somebody you don't like supports the other person, that they don't deserve their platform. That's always pissed me off. Like, people used to get mad at LeBron James because he would support somebody, and then like
Diddy. He loves Diddy.
Yeah, well,
have you seen those videos?
No, I have not.
It's bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad. This Diddy shit is getting bad. Yeah.
I saw something about J-Lo like not happy about.
Oh yeah, they're
Diddy.
taking a bunch down. They're taking J-Lo. They're taking Jay-Z. They're taking LeBron. It's going deep.
Never liked Jay-Z's music. I'm gonna just say it. Yeah. Never been a fan.
I find him to be overrated.
Never been a fan of Jay-Z's
I'm a
music.
fan. I enjoy it, but I don't think he's the greatest rapper of all time. Dude, you want to really fucking cause some chaos? Do bands or rappers even. You'll fucking blow the roof.
No, the next one, I'll go ahead and say it here because like nobody's listening an hour in.
I'll start
except
voting.
for Joe Bridges. So the next one I'm taking a month. This ends at the end of October. And the next one I'm going to start around Thanksgiving, beginning of December. It's going to be Christmas movies.
That'll be interesting.
I think that'll be a good one. And then I'm
Home Alone's going to win, which I don't agree with, but
that's what I said. I think Home Alone's going to win, but somebody said Elf. They think Elf will win.
It'll be close.
Yeah, I think if my again,
I go
sides, Home Alone. And
I
Elf.
don't give a fuck about Home Alone.
I don't really like.
I seem to be in the minority there, and I think that's very age-based.
I don't really like Elf,
also,
honestly.
I love Elf.
Nah, it just doesn't do it. Grinch. I think Jim Carrey.
That's
Grinch
number one.
Has a shot.
For me, that's number one.
That's Kayla's favorite movie. Not favorite Christmas movie. That's Kayla's favorite.
There are
movie.
lines in there still, no matter how many times I've seen it, that put me in fucking tears.
It is kind of frustrating to watch that movie with my wife because she knows every single word and will just say them the whole time. And I'm just like,
dude, literally like the first 5 seconds when he's got that fake mask on and that kid's running and he heads him a saw and he goes, "Here you go, kids. Now run with it. Go, 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 run." I'm already laughing. Like a second into the movie, I'm already fucking crying.
I want to say an opinion that I'm going to change. This will flip at some point soon.
You're a real Kamala Harris supporter. You flip. You should change your accent every time we're on this pod.
Anyway,
all right, go ahead.
Will Ferrell. I don't think I'm a Will Ferrell fan anymore. I think like I've grown out of. I think I've grown out of really loving Will Ferrell.
Hold on.
Even his older stuff, I'm just like, I don't know anymore.
So you're no longer a Will Ferrell fan of past things. I'm no longer a Will Ferrell fan of what he's been doing recently.
I just don't know. Like I just see Will Ferrell and I'm like, this isn't my comedy anymore.
Right.
Like,
well, it's a very
he did
early
have a
2000s.
he did have a very funny cameo in The Boys though. I don't know.
Really?
He had the. I mean, I like Will Ferrell, but I'm just like,
I like him.
I look at Elf and I'm like, this isn't me.
I like him a lot.
anymore.
I think he just. It's just like any other actor. You have a hot streak and then you fall off.
I don't think Kevin Hart's
Sandler's the
funny.
same way.
I don't think Kevin Hart is funny anymore.
No,
I think Kevin Hart.
I would argue he never really was.
I think that one special where he called his. He had the note with his teacher, whatever. He called his teacher a bitch or whatever. I think that. I don't remember what special that is. I think that was the last funny Kevin Hart thing ever. And then he got way too famous, quit doing stand up, and then was doing specials. Right. And it's just like, oh, you're not funny anymore.
That last one he did, I think it was the last one, in his house during COVID, was among the worst specials I've ever seen in my life.
You know, that Bo Burnham special during COVID. It
was good.
Inside, is that what you called it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really
a good one.
You know what I recommended to me on my YouTube the other day?
What?
I'm Bo-Yo. You remember that song?
No.
It's Bo Burnham. It's like what made Bo Burnham.
I wasn't like a Bo Burnham guy.
Oh, I love Bo Burnham.
I just
love
barely
Bo
missed
Burnham.
it.
I don't know why have we ever talked about Bo Burnham on this show?
A little bit, I think.
I fucking love
There's a hilarious
Bo Burnham.
There's like a stand-up roundtable thing.
He's in Parks and Rec also.
Oh, I didn't
for
know
like
that.
one episode.
There's like a stand-up roundtable thing where he's sitting with some very well-known comics of like the 80s, 90s that most people probably wouldn't. Like Ray Romano's there, actually.
Yeah.
And he's a stand-up before Everybody Loves Raymond. And I think maybe Colin Quinn or like some others. And Bo Burnham's there. And there's just this clip that makes me laugh where like they're introing the group and then the crowd all claps. And then when it dies down, Bo Burnham goes, and just one quick question. Who are you guys? And like it crushes.
I love him.
I do.
Dude.
Yeah, I think he's fun.
Ray Romano also, speaking of fun cameos, Ray Romano is in Pete Davidson's TV show. He's one of his TV shows. I don't remember which one it was.
How was that? The one with Joe Pesci in it?
Yeah.
How was that?
Really good.
I wanted to watch it.
I'm upset. I don't think they're making another season.
I like Pete. I'll stand on that one.
Oh, yeah, dude. I love Pete Davidson.
I like Pete.
I think Pete's funny.
I think his special, is it Alive from New York or whatever?
Yeah.
From 2019 or something?
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I love Pete Davidson. I don't fucking care. I love little bug-eyed Pete.
I was very excited for King of Staten Island, and it was terrible.
It's not that. Is that the special?
No. That's the one
show
with Bill Burr. That's the movie.
No, it's not. No, I can't think. It's on Peacock. I cannot think of the name of it.
Here's what I'll say too, and this is a deep cut. The King of Staten Island I was thrilled for it. I bought it like pay-per-view through his website before it ever came out. I was so hype on it because I liked Pete a lot at that time. And the movie wasn't great, but it had Bill Burr in it. And it's good. It's just not great. It's not all I had hyped it up to be. However, there's a movie that came out, I'm going to say 2017-ish, a couple years before that. And it's like it's very similar, actually. It's a coming-of-age thing for this young kid who's like 13, and he hangs out with the older kids. He's not Pete. Pete is like one of the older kids that like smokes weed and gets him in trouble and does tattoos. It's Pete and MGK, actually, and Machine Gun Kelly.
He's in the show.
Okay, well, he's in that
Bumpkiss,
movie.
I think's the name of the show.
That's it. He's in this movie. It's called Big Time Adolescence. Nobody saw it. I think it was a Hulu original, maybe. That movie's fucking phenomenal. That movie is really good.
You remember earlier whenever we were trying to figure out what it's called whenever they just force information in? Pandering.
Pandering, yeah.
Yep. It
wow.
just hit me.
Wow. Hit you like a freight
just
train.
fucking hit me.
Yeah, Big Time Adolescence. That's good.
Yeah. Bumpkiss was really good.
I love a coming of age film.
I do too. You know,
I don't know why those just hit with me.
Did you ever read The Catcher in the Rye? I know that's that's a coming of age book, and it was like banned because
you want to talk about while we're here for a second.
And that's a very good coming of age book. Anyway,
not exactly coming of age, but like a
1984
spiritual awakening movie almost. That it's probably my.
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I almost said it's my favorite movie of all time. I don't know if that's true, but it's up there for sure. Is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I've never seen that movie. It has been on my list for so long. I've never seen that movie.
I know you. I think it would hit. I encourage you to watch
Sober
it.
or high? I'm just kidding.
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
No, dude. I've told you the story
Exceptional movie.
I've told you that story about Interstellar and like that.
Yeah.
God.
I would argue that for me personally, Secret Life of Walter Mitty the first time had about as big an impact on me as Interstellar.
I cried the first time I watched Interstellar.
Oh, I cried.
Okay, let me say that. I don't cry, but like
half my TikTok algorithm is like Interstellar, but filmed vertically, and then it's just all the beautiful shots of it.
Oh,
compilated together,
dude. The science behind the black hole in that movie, like how they actually rendered it and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so good.
They had the color wrong though. But it's not.
We're back.
They did. It's
We're right back to Interstellar every time. Every time it's just us in a room.
Did I tell you? This is
that
the last
is
thing.
the timer for when we've run out of shit to talk about.
I'm gonna tell this one last story and then we'll plug and get out of here.
It's like every time I'm on the phone with Justin, we talk for 3 hours, and I always know it's time to hang up because we start quoting Louis bits, and I'm like, oh, we're here. It's 3 hours in. We're quoting.
Yeah,
Louis.
we're like a little over an hour this time. So. But this is so the first podcast I ever did was called Three Guys in Ties. I think I've mentioned that I've mentioned like my failed podcast, Three Guys in Ties, and there's still like 30 some episodes. You guys can go listen to it. Audio quality is shit.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that's how I learned.
Listen to this show instead.
But like whenever you've caught up on all 60 episodes of our show and you need another 30.
Is this 60?
It's like 59.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so if you go back and listen to Three Guys in Ties, we have a co-host change at one point, and this guy Tony comes on, is a good buddy of mine. And Tony loves the movie Interstellar, and I had not seen the movie at that time. And for like 4 months, Tony's telling me to watch Interstellar, and I never fucking do.
And you're like,
podcast ends. Okay, podcast ends abruptly. We didn't like. It just quit recording. Fast forward 3 years, I watch Interstellar.
You have to apologize.
I wake up the next morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something that nobody fucking asked for. I go in, record a 15-minute review.
Pretty funny.
Of Interstellar and upload it to the Three Guys in Ties thread and text them. I was like, hey, there's a new episode of Three Guys in Ties. I don't know if you guys have heard it yet.
Pretty funny.
And they go and listen to it. They're like, hell yeah, man, you finally watched it. It's a funny review. It's just,
That's great, man.
I thought it was
That's good.
Fun.
You know, another one I watched recently too, Peanut Butter Falcon.
No.
Great.
I have one last thing to talk about.
I will literally go Peanut Butter Falcon, Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Big Time Adolescence. I mean, that's all in my top 10. Those are all great.
We need to do like a top movie pick for us.
Let's do it for homework. I'll bring it back next week.
Okay.
I'll tell Prue it.
I'm cool with that. All right. So
Prue's
one last
just
thing.
Going to be like
Community, which did not make the bracket. I'm very upset. It should have made the bracket, but I was forgetting about it when I put the bracket together. But
that's
anyway.
the Childish Gambino one?
Yeah.
Okay. Never
Donald
seen
Glover.
It. Never seen it.
You've never seen... Ooh, Community is so fucking good.
I'm sure it's great. He's great.
I love Community.
If it's him at all, it's great.
So... Yeah, Donald Glover is my personal
amazing.
hero.
Him and Jamie Foxx are those two that I put in that category of like you could just do anything.
Personal
and
heroes.
It's great.
Personal heroes.
Well, black guys too.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that's another category.
In Community, on the first season of Community, somebody makes a Beetlejuice joke, and like the punchline is Beetlejuice.
Okay, you said it twice now, so be very careful.
I'm gonna say it two more times.
We don't need him in here.
Yeah,
don't
and then season 2, they make another joke
about.
Where the punchline is
right.
That person.
Right.
And then the writers were like, hey, we've made 2 jokes about this guy.
Sure.
And so in season 3, they make another joke, and the punchline is Beetlejuice. Anyway,
He's
and
here.
as soon as they say Beetlejuice the third time,
Happy Halloween.
No, they have somebody dressed up as Beetlejuice walking behind the person in like behind a window in a hallway, and it's very,
and they don't acknowledge it.
Don't acknowledge it at all. I'll show you the clip.
I do like that.
Anyway, so that was our show.
That kind of reminds me of. Do you remember that episode of The Office when Michael's in New York? And he thinks Tina Fey's walking by, and he's like, Tina Fey, and then Conan
O'Brien
walks by.
You know what the best joke? One of the best fucking jokes in the entirety of the New York Slice, and he goes to fucking Sbarro.
I'm gonna get me a New York Slice, and it's Sbarro. Yeah,
it's the dumbest joke, and dude, and what's so funny about that joke? It took me 3-4 times to watch that episode to really click.
Yeah,
why that was so funny.
Season 4 of that show, I think that's season 4. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Season 4 is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're pretty much, like, I would say universally a fan favorite is the dinner party episode, and it is amazing.
Dinner party.
In my opinion, the episode right before that is even better.
What was the one right before that?
It's called The Deposition.
The Deposition is... it's
where they're suing the company.
Michael's Diary.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Dude, when they come back from a commercial break and the stenographer is been asked to read off the reason, and she's like, can I go to the bathroom? No, you can't. You just went to the bathroom. That wasn't to go to the bathroom. That was to get out of a question. Can I go to the bathroom? No.
Yeah.
I'm fucking howling every time.
Here's another...
It's so funny.
Here's another deep cut, and this is in the super fan episodes of The Office, okay? Have you watched those?
Yeah.
Different show completely.
Yeah.
So the episode after the dinner party. So at the end of dinner party, Michael goes and stays with Dwight. right. And on the very next episode, this is cut out of like the normal show.
Yeah.
It is Michael checking out of Dwight's house.
Yeah, it's funny.
And Dwight hands him a bill.
Yeah.
And that
funny.
is that show killed me.
That show has those little moments though, but I would argue maybe the best. Here's another bracket: best bloopers of any show. The Office might have the best.
Oh,
bloopers.
yeah.
The one from Dinner Party when Michael's pushing that little TV into the wall. Have you seen that? He's, he has a flat screen and he's like, and look, it folds right into the wall and it goes like half an inch. Fucking John Krasinski loses it. Like they cannot film that. There's like 20 bloopers of them trying to do that and he just can't hold it
I bet
together.
John Krasinski was a problem filming because every blooper I've ever seen is John Krasinski just breaking.
The one too where like I love shit that takes years to build up. Like the fact that Stanley doesn't really talk much through the whole show. And then towards the later seasons, like when Michael's getting ready to leave, there's a blooper where Michael walks out of the office on his cue. He walks out and he goes, "Good news." And Stanley stands up and yells, "We get to go home." And the whole office fucking falls out laughing because it's like he wasn't supposed to say that and he's not said anything for 10 years. Like that took so long.
That's so funny.
To build up. Yeah.
Dude, the funniest thing, this is the last thing I'm going to say and then we're wrapping up.
No, we're not.
The funniest scene in any show I've ever seen, and this is why Parks and Rec wins for me. It is on episode 2 or 3, and you've never seen it, right?
Never seen it.
Okay,
I mean, no, I've seen it, but I've never sat down and given it a fair try.
So
like I've seen it in passing.
Aubrey Plaza, April Ludgate in the
love
show.
Her. God, I love her.
Oh
God.
In like the first or second episode, Mark Brandanowitz, I don't know his actual name, and Aziz Ansari's character, Tom Haverford.
Talk about Aubrey again.
I will. They're like canvassing for like a park to be open, and they walk up on this guy, and they're handing him a flyer, and they're like, "Hey, we're wanting to open a park right down the road." And the guy's like, "That's so cool! It's gonna have like swings and slides and everything." They're like, "Yeah." And Mark goes, "Do you have any kids?" And he's like, "No kids." And Mark just looks at him, and he's like, Mark looks at him and just looks at Aubrey Plaza, and just like, "Stand behind me, April." And the guy goes, "Is it going to be more than 200 feet away?" And the guy's like, "Nope, no park." Takes the flyer, and then you see Aziz Ansari just fucking running. It killed me the first time. I kind of butchered it. I
only want to watch it for her. That's the only reason I watch that show.
That's fair.
I
anyway.
love her.
All right.
Yeah.
Talkin' Bits podcast.
Talkin' Bits.
Talkin' Bits pod.
This will be out
Instagram.
Friday, right?
Yeah. Talkin' Bits pod. Michael Rose Comedy. Moving to JC. NLB_423. Don't tell Tri-Cities.
Tri-Cities. And if you're listening to this today, I'll fucking see you tomorrow. And if if I don't see you tomorrow on September the 28th, I don't care where you live, if you're in Australia, listen to this, and you're not in Blountville, Tennessee,
don't make the flight.
Tomorrow,
it's not
Saturday, September the 28th.
It'll be cool within the lower 48 states.
Stop
but not
listening to this show. That's
not
what I think.
Flying. We love you.
I better see you tomorrow. Love
Bye.
you. Bye.